Hello to all of you viewers of The Pioneer. I hope you're all healthy and well. Today we will talk about the latest situation in Kharkiv. The Ukrainian army is advancing with determination, getting closer to victory every day. Fighting bravely and decisively to end the occupation, the Ukrainian army is displaying more and more heroism every day. Behind the determined resistance lies the army's strong belief in victory. The images emerging from the battlefield clearly show that the morale and motivation of Ukrainian soldiers are at their peak. On the Russian front, the situation is quite the opposite. The morale and motivation of the Russian army has been greatly shaken by the news of defeats coming from the front. This is evident from the increase in the number of Russian soldiers surrendering on the battlefield. The successive attacks over the past few days have further accelerated the collapse of the Russian army and caused the collapse of morale within the army. In this context, it is important to closely analyze the latest developments. Let's take a closer look. Ukrainian forces continue to achieve great successes in counterattacks. According to the latest information from local sources, the Ukrainian army conducted a series of operations at 5 different points of the front lines. Significant and critical successes were achieved in these operations. In these attacks, the Ukrainian army targeted Russian positions behind the front line and launched powerful missile strikes. Thanks to these strikes, the offensive on the front line was further strengthened and the advance of the Ukrainian forces gained momentum. The Russian army, facing difficulties in the face of these formidable attacks, was forced to retreat from some strategic points. Ukraine's successful operations further weakened the morale and motivation of the Russian army and significantly reduced its defense capacity. In light of these developments, it is clear that Ukraine continues on its path to victory and Russia is going through a difficult period. Let's take a look at the latest developments. As the Pioneer team, we strive to convey to you the developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. I also read all the comments you leave on our videos. Please continue to share your ideas about our content. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. And now let's start if you're ready. The Pioneer reports. As we noted in our previous reports that the second phase of the Kharkiv offensive has almost begun, the Ukrainian army's offensive has intensified in recent days. The number of fuel tanks destroyed during previous offensives has reportedly reached 5, according to the latest estimates. In this new wave of attacks, a large number of arsenal and warehouses have been targeted and destroyed during missile strikes by Ukrainian forces. Ukrainian forces are neutralizing strategic points by striking Russian fuel, ammunition, and oil depots in coordinated operations. These operations are followed by a second surprise with missile strikes against Russian targets. In particular, the occupied Donetsk Oblast has become the center of the fighting in recent days. The fighting here continues uninterruptedly all along the occupation line, and the front line has turned into a theater of war. Another noteworthy front is Krymiena. Russian forces tried to attack 4 kilometers southwest of Krymiena, but this attempt failed. Russian troops attempted to infiltrate Ukrainian positions south of Dniprova, but were thwarted by the Ukrainian army's quick and effective response. The failure on this front had a significant impact on the morale of the Russian forces. The General Staff of Ukraine continues to provide the public with up-to-date and accurate information on the course of the war. Ukrainian forces continue their operations in the northern and southern districts of Bakhmut. These operations once again demonstrate the effectiveness and determination of the Ukrainian army on the ground. Critical strikes of the Ukrainian army are not only taking place in Kharkiv. In fact, in many regions of Ukraine, Russian positions are being targeted by Ukrainian missiles. These artillery operations facilitate the advance of infantry units and provide strategic advantages. According to the information we have on the course of the conflict, the resistance of the Ukrainian armed forces continues steadfastly despite the intense attacks. The The victory of the Ukrainian army is getting closer every day, and Russia is trying to find strategic solutions to this situation. Russia, which has failed to achieve the desired results on the front and whose weak points have been announced to the world, is seeking new moves to strengthen its hand on the front. A remarkable move by Russia in recent days is considered by many experts as a desperation move. This move is seen as Russia's attempt to cope with the difficulties on the ground, but it also shows that Russia is in a strategically difficult situation. According to available information, Russia has once again purchased unmanned aerial vehicles from Iran. This information is corroborated by various allegations made by local sources. Allegedly, as a result of these commercial activities, Russia is reportedly planning to build new facilities to produce drones on its territory. Iran regularly replenishes Russia's stockpile of drones and continues to support it in this area. Russia is in dire need of such support as it is unable to fully meet the challenges and obligations of war. However, recent events seem to have severely damaged this cooperation and trust in general. The atmosphere of mistrust on the Russian side raises many questions. According to local sources, in the wake of the recent police assassination, Moscow police have begun attending various training programs to improve their skills. The Kremlin seems determined to turn Moscow's security forces into its own private guard and is taking steps to protect the regime and eliminate potential threats. However, the Kremlin's efforts have not yielded the expected results. The reluctance and indifference of the police officers in undergoing training is noteworthy, with some even abandoning it. We've already mentioned the Russian public's dissatisfaction with Putin's policies. Apparently, the Moscow police share the same sentiments and do not want to side with the Russian leader Vladimir Putin. This is a major obstacle to the Kremlin's efforts to strengthen the security forces and stability in Russia in general. The Ukrainian army continues its fight to clear the occupying Russian forces from its territory more and more vigorously every day. The Ukrainian army's will and strength to fight is growing stronger and stronger with each passing day, reinforcing the army's belief that it will win the war. Positive developments in the course of the war are in favor of the Ukrainian army, while the Russian army continues to lose its order and is deteriorating. What do you think? What do you think about the Ukrainian operations in Donetsk? Do you think they are successful? There are many reports that the Russian army suffered serious losses on the Kharkiv front. What do you think about this? Should more missile strikes by the Ukrainian army be expected? And what might Putin's plans be in this situation? Let me know in the comments. I will read them and will try to reply to them whenever possible.